Everybody, let me explain my logic behind the Ethereum. So I'll explain my position, my allocations, and what's next and what I'm expecting from Ethereum. So let's straightly dive into Ethereum. And basically, I'm bullish. I'm bullish on Ethereum. On a higher time frame is that we are kind of distributing at the all-time high. That's the first target. Usually, the people who's accumulating over here, right? So basically, the all-time high, close to all-time high, previous cycle's all-time high is the target one. Same thing happened to Bitcoin also. So we today also let's touch a little bit Bitcoin, but as I mentioned it, I'm not really interested in Bitcoin now. I'm more trade Ethereum. So yes, this consolidation, for my opinion, takes pretty long time of period. I didn't think that it's gonna take that a deep. I was expecting, I was talking about that there's a possibility, or here we are gonna consolidate and then break it, or we are going to see the correction and then go higher. So as the market gave us deep corrections, okay. Another thing, that deep correction, actually I like it because from investment perspective, like for the long term on the spot buy, I'm not gonna buy here at all. Do you know? Like, so even if the price is here consolidated, right? I don't want to buy that zone, right? So I'm the guy who want to buy somewhere here. So the deep correction actually opens for me opportunity for take on leverage positions. So that's what I'm hunting right now, and that's what I'm fishing right now. I choose a little bit different strategy at this time to fishing the bottom. I will explain you why and what's my logic behind what's going on. Maybe that's not right, but that's where I put my money and that's what I'm testing my strategy, right? So basically, if we take Fibonacci, put on the beginning and the end of this trend over here. So as you can see, we came towards 0.5, 0.6 area. That's the perfect correctional target. And from here, we're expecting some reversal. Target zone is one of the confirmations. Another confirmations, what I see is volume. So we definitely seeing that in this price action, the prices decreases and volumes are increases. This is bullish divergence. So usually price somewhere finds the bottom, right? And that's actually confirms that that's the correction. Another thing is the structure. The structure is pretty ugly. So that's the second one, right? And now third condition. The structure is pretty ugly. I don't see impulsive beginning over here, right? The impulsive beginning, like something like this, right? Something like this. So that's also one of the confirmation that there is like correction, right? The correction, it means we have a targets, and that's also confirmation. One more confirmation. If we open the 4-hour time frame over here, we can mentioning that at the lows, right, we are creating the divergence on the MACD. So you can see the price creates us lower lows and MACD creates for us higher highs. So basically the money flows in a different direction. So basically we are someone is kind of catching that price, right? So the fight between bears and bulls, and it seems like the bulls are winning at this target, right? So actually those are the conditions what I want to see at the target zone, right? All of this which one I told you right now, right? So yeah, but actually this bullish divergence on the MACD also forms from here already, right? Because we have a peak over here, right? The peak of the downtrend impulse, and that's create for us a long way divergence, right? Plus in the correctional zone. So somewhere here, I'm expecting the reversal. So what's happening right now with my position? First of all, let me do like this, right? I started fishing the bottom actually from here, right? Because that was the minimum target zone, right? And as we had like this reaction, I think here, right? Or here, like somewhere here, I took already profits. So in this case, listen to my logic right now. When the price hits 0.3 targets over here, right? That's the minimum correctional zone. So I'm less likely expecting the reversal from here towards like breaking out the structure. So that's why my logic at the 0.3 here was that I'm entering position somewhere here, and I already started to take a profits over here, right, towards all-time high. So 20% are already closed in the profits. I move my stop loss towards entry point and let it run, right? So in that case, I'm not gonna miss that movement, which is usually the correction not comes to point 3, it comes more deeper. So basically at the point 3, I was expecting more deeper correction. So I took that kind of risk and protect myself to taking profits around like 20 or 30%. I took it. So you can check it in my Telegram channel, everything I shared there. So yeah, and what happened next? Next, we deep dive a little bit more in the deeper correction. And here I already started to accumulate the position for the major reversal, right? At least towards this all-time high. Because this correction creates for us pretty massive impulse for the next upcoming impulse. So here I entered long position, like as the impulse started somewhere here. We saw a little bit profits and we got stop losses, right? So my stop loss over here. Next, what I did after today in the morning, I guess, right? Today in the morning, I saw that here already was the pretty obvious that it will hit my stop loss, right? Even here it didn't touch, a little bit bounce, and after still touch my stop loss. So what do I see actually the locally picture already getting like it's bottoming out, right? It's not necessarily means it's for sure gonna bottom out. The price can do whatever it needs. It can just like flash down towards zero, the Ethereum, right? But the risk management, that's what it saves us, right? So that's why I'm doing the proper risk management and start to fishing the bottom right now. So, and what happens? So as we retest these lows, when we took these lows over here, I saw already pretty bullish divergences on the MACD, right? Look at that. First of all, that creates for us pretty long divergence over here. And at the, local lows over here, look at that. It also creates for us the divergence, right? Look at that. It creates for us higher highs, the MACD, and price creates for us lower lows. So basically, this bounce, I treat it as a continuation of the uptrend, right? And that could be the major reversal. Let's see. I don't know. I'm still in the longs right now. I put my stop loss somewhere at the bottom, like this, right? So, and what's my logic? If didn't happen, right? And sorry. So, if that reversal didn't happen and we went once again deeper, it's not necessarily means that that's all. Like my kind of strategy is, or my plan is invalidated. No, this target zone we can pretty long time of period we can trade over here and catch even one more time like that, right? So yeah, that's what can happen. And another thing, why I actually make a little bit fast decision here, because usually how I enter the trade, when I'm seeing like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 after the correction, somewhere here I'm entering, stop loss here, and boom, we start to ride. But because Ethereum, I'm kind of expecting from the fundamental factor that Ethereum might do like really flashy and really fast move. I can be wrong. But that's what my opinion about how I feel the cycle right now, right? I'm thinking that if we're gonna reverse here, we might not see that correction, or we might see. But here I decided to take these risks, take my stop losses, is okay. And over here, I even sharing all my losses, right? Here's the 50% from the position I lost it, I close it. Now again, I entered, re-enter over here the position, and again, I'm expecting the continuation of uptrend over here, but of course I keep in mind that we can once again dip it, right? So basically just like kind of forming the bottom, like MACD is telling us it is forming the bottom. Volumes is telling us that it's forming the bottom. The cycle is like kind of cycle telling us also that it's time to reverse, right? We are in a pretty long kind of correction. That's also telling us that it's time to have an impulse. But of course the market is market, and because we don't know how it's gonna act, the risk management is the grail for successful trading right now. So that's what I'm doing, right? So yeah, local scenarios over here. What did I see? Look at that, the massive splash of volumes we saw over here from the bottom, right? Really great reversible candle. Look at that, as it's dipped, right? Over here, look at this candle, right? The body of this candle is pretty small compared to the previous one, and it has massive shadow. So that's the extreme candle, MFI combination, squatting. So that's forms at the bottom. So on the smaller time frame, I also see that reaction. About the structure is pretty hard to talk about here. Do we see 5 impulsive wave structure, like something as it starts usually, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because that's a very small time frame. So the one thing I can see over here that volume start to increase is locally, right? Over here, look at that. The 1 hour time frame, prices increases, volumes are increasing. Also great confirmations, why not? So I put my stop loss at these lows, so let's see, I'm right or wrong. Yeah, and my targets right now is more a little bit higher, right? Comparing to the Bitcoin. Right now we're gonna switch to the Bitcoin because I'm expecting the final breakout of this all-time high, right? Previous all-time high and the performance from Ethereum. So I think that's pretty logical to take. Like I'm risking a little bit to win a lot, right? So and plus the some conditions I'm seeing, why not, right? So that's how leverage works at the proper time, in a proper kind of strategy. So basically here I was pretty right to take some profits, expecting lower prices. These bounces I kind of pay for stop loss is okay, and I'm start to catching the bottom, right? If we are gonna fall like way more lower than this 0.6, like if we will fall, right? That time where I can say that, yeah, might be like this structure completely like ruined, right? But it's pretty early to talk about that. I don't like to talk about the future. I'm just like what I see currently. That's how I'm acting. And then let's see what we're gonna do, right? Because I cannot say that if we fall even deeper right now and see the reaction, I'm not gonna take a longs, right? Because Ethereum is less liquid than Bitcoin, and there's more manipulative, and the moves are more sharp and more deep. So we gotta adapt to that. So Ethereum, you need to drink more coffee to trade, right? Actually, but of course, I'm just joking. Like trading is not a stressful job. That's like if you're doing the proper thing, it is not stress at all. So it's just a joke, and I'm just following the meme. So yeah, that's from an Ethereum standpoint. I'm targeting a little bit higher prices, right? 5K around. So I'm catching a little bit different position over here. Let's switch to the Bitcoin. Let me show you what's going on here. Bitcoin, as the previous videos I was mentioning, in the structure, it looks not really well. By structure, is telling us what? Like if you're a holder, take profits. The trading is, from the long perspective, getting more shaky. The moves are kind of getting more deep down, right? And it is everything happened. Everything happened because those impulses, right, has the corrections and usual ordinary corrections. Each impulse, ordinary, great corrections. But this impulse, the last one, went in deep, right? So that's actually indicates for the price creates for us like structure for reversal. So that's why I should to be cautious over here, and I'm not taking any long position. Even in perspective, I'm seeing that we see that reaction. We might see reaction. We can even hit the close to all-time high. But better I will trade Ethereum because it's more understandable. Ethereum didn't done its own job in this cycle. So basically, I'm more switched to Ethereum right now. So from the Bitcoin perspective, also it's in the target zone. If we take a Fibonacci, put on the beginning and the end of this impulse, you can see the 0.5, 0.6 area perfectly. Let me check my Fibonacci tool. Am I properly? Yes, everything is right. So we are in the 0.5, 0.6 area. If we are going to fall deeper, the last target is 0.7, and the structure will be very ugly, and like I'm not gonna take a long position. Even now, I'm not looking any kind of longs from the Ethereum perspective. If we are going to fall like and do something like this, that's gonna be very, very bad for Bitcoin. And basically, we can say that Bitcoin done its job in this cycle, right? I don't know. Like I'm not the guy who's gonna tell you that's the top or that's the bottom. From the technical perspective, what do I see? If I'm at the holder, I'm gonna take the profits in this cycle, right? Because the bottom, this movement is not just a like impulse. We saw consolidation at the selling off at the all-time high, right? Previous, we break it, took profits, retested, last impulse, right? Something like that. And basically from structure perspective, the Bitcoin did have like perfectly in this cycle, right? What's gonna happen next, it might create the euphoria right now, and we might see that this reaction, right? Like some crazy movement, which is on the from the technical perspective, will be invisible, for my opinion. And if it's invisible, like what's the point to trade for me right now, even the price if doubles or triples from here? If we break it, listen to me, if we're gonna break this structure like that and we'll see some consolidation, that's in the future again, then we might take some longs. But right now, I don't see any like logic for that. I even see more logic to short the Bitcoin like somewhere here, because as the bounce gonna happen, more likely is we're gonna see that, or maybe we're gonna see from here, right? This is gonna be really strong resistance, and to break it, it's gonna be really harder. Not the harder, it's not when you want to bet. That's how I will interpret that movement, right? But at the same time, because after this breakout, this first of all strong resistance, after that there's all strongest resistance, especially all-time high, right? All-time high creating for us like a major reversal. So basically too much resistances, very strong resistances. Bitcoin can do. Bitcoin does such kind of thing that we can just slice it and go higher. But first, let's make that slice, and then we talk about the any kind of positions on the Bitcoin. For now, I'm out of the Bitcoin, so and more concentrating on Ethereum. So basically, if you like my analysis, if you like the way how I look at the trades, I'm sharing completely everything. Honestly, what I'm doing, I'm sharing all my positions, even on my Telegram channel. Even from investment perspective, here I'm kind of sharing the positions which one I'm opening from investment perspective. So I'm basically sharing all my execution and accumulation in the dollars, right? So I think pretty interesting. You can look at me, you can look at my mistakes, how I'm sometimes fucked up, like you can learn from myself, from my mistakes, and etc. So see you next, and leave your comments, guys, and your likes always helps me, and your subscribes if you want, press that, and see you next. Bye bye.